Now, by any chance, did you mark yourself for quiz 1? How many marks you got?
Yeah.
Yeah, so do we just mark it on our own record?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah, we
Because
did. I did.
yeah, that's awesome. Because the actual exam would be that PMP exam. So there is no pass or fail in our exam, in our assessments. That just for the sake of your own assessment.
Okay.
Excuse me. So would you like to share your score if you feel comfortable?
Yeah, for me 17.
Yeah.
Okay, Eamon. So you got 17 out of 20.
Yes.
That's
Nice.
cool. Yes. What about you, Mara?
I only got 14 out
Out
of
of?
20.
But still it's 70%, isn't it?
70%.
Yeah, that's good. And what about others?
17.
I 14.
Yeah, 17 and 14 again. Yeah, Tanya 17 and Pedro 14. Okay, awesome. Next.
I've got 15.
But I would say you got very good score because these questions are not very easy, though not very complicated. But as you will do quiz 2, quiz 3, 4, and final exam, question might be a bit more tricky. You can share your experience about quiz 2 because you already attempted it. What do you think? How was that quiz?
It looks easy, but it comes out that my score is actually quite low.
15, I would say, is not that bad score. It's 75%.
Oh no, sorry, that was the quiz one, but sorry, the quiz 2 looked easy.
Yeah.
But it's actually more trickier.
Yeah, there would be some tricky questions. And by any chance, did I send you assessment answers previously? I mean, when I send you all the documents, all the material?
No.
Oh, no,
Okay.
for this, no.
Yeah. So I did it deliberately so that you should attempt by yourself. And Sukanya, did you get any chance to attempt quiz 1 or quiz 2?
Not yet, sir. I will attend it tomorrow.
Yeah,
if it
all
is
good.
possible. Yeah.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
So
Okay, thank you.
let's start our discussion around quiz 2. And I would request Pedro, can you please read question 1 for me?
Yes. What should managers consider before conducting a performance evaluation interview with a project team member? A, which management fallacies can most easily be delegated to the worker? B, how can discussion of the manager's leadership style be avoided? C, has the employee been provided with sufficient instructions and work tools? And D, how can dispute related to unsatisfactory performance be avoided?
Yep. So what was the answer?
I chose C. Has the employee been provided with sufficient instructions and work tools?
Yeah. Anyone else with different answer? Awesome. So answer is C, and it was very straightforward question. Now let's move to next question, and I would request Tanya to read it for me.
Which statement describes the best handling of assumptions during the initiating processes? 1, is it the responsibility of the salesperson in charge to identify all risks related to a customer project? 2, managing and organising assumptions means avoiding risks right from the start of the project. 3, organisational environments and external assumptions should be addressed by the project charter. And last one, risks are a sign of uncertainty. Avoiding all uncertainty means that a project should have no risks at all.
So what do you think? What could be the answer?
I went for 2 or B.
B. Okay. Anyone else with different answer?
I have 3.
Yeah. Now option 2 and 3. Anyone with option 2 or 3?
I did.
Number 3 for me.
Mm-hmm.
And number 2 for me.
Yep.
Number 2 for me as well.
Okay, so 3 number 2s, 2 number 3. Then what about you, Pedro?
I chose yeah, the number 2 or B, managing and organizing assumptions means avoiding risk right from the start of the project.
So what's the reason, Tanya, why you chose B?
Just looking at the question, it was more about how you best handle assumptions.
Yes.
So I didn't feel that that was reflected as much. So I was tossing between 2 and 3.
Yep.
But I just thought the first one kind of summarized the whole meaning of, you know, getting assumptions in place right from the start. That's all.
In fact, there are multiple hints in this question and also in the options that give you an idea where what should be the answers. Now, the thing is, like during the initiating process, we are not going to manage or organize assumptions at all. And we are not going to avoid risk. Risk avoidance is done during planning for the risk response. If you remember, the process 5 of risk management, that is in the planning stage, not at the time of initiating. At the initiating stage, most important thing is to know about the assumptions and the assumptions that are made at organizational level, environmental and external assumptions. So only high level assumptions, and that should be discussed and should be addressed in the project charter. Should be put in the project charter and should be discussed during initiating stage. So answer is 3, not the 2. Okay, next, Sukanya.
Yes. A work breakdown structure directly is document which A. Describe technical terms used for scope management. B. Describes the details for each component in the WBS. 3. Translate essential work breakdown structure terms for global project teams. And 4th, help translate functional into technical requirements.
So what could be the answer, Sukanya?
Mm. 4. Help translate functional into technical requirement. No.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Number 2 for me.
2. Yeah.
Describes the details for each component in the work breakdown structure.
Who is agreed with the answer 2?
Me.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's answer 2. Now let's move further. Question 4. And Eman, can you please read for me?
At the beginning of project execution, you noticed different opinions between team members related to project work and the deliverable and the level of overall complexity. What should you do right now? For me, I choose organize meetings to identify and resolve misunderstanding between teams members in order to avoid interface problems. Number C.
Okay. Anyone else with a different answer? So everybody agreed with the answer 2? Oh, sorry, 3?
Yep.
Answer
3.
3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, organize meeting to identify and resolve misunderstanding between team members in order to avoid interface problems, disintegration, and costly rework early in the project. Because if technical debt increase with the time, that could be because of any reason, could be a difference of opinion or due to any other reason, then it become more and more costly. Now, question 5, Pedro.
You have just taken over as a manager of a project that will create many benefits for the performing organization, but you sense a high level of resistance in various stakeholders right from the start. What is the most appropriate action to resolve the problem?
Yep.
A, develop
Yep.
a responsibility and assignment matrix,
Mhm.
which clearly shows the responsibility of its stakeholders for various project activities and who needs to be consulted and informed. B, develop an organization diagram which places each of the stakeholders at an appropriate positions inside the project and allows for certain lines of communication while disallowing others.
Mhm.
C, schedule a meeting with these stakeholders to present the project, discuss and establish ground rules, ensure their involvement, and identify initial personal and organizational issues. And D, do not talk to these stakeholders too much at this time. Instead, create fait accompli, which will later force the stakeholders to support the project due to lack of alternative for them. My answer is C, or number 3, schedule a meeting with the stakeholders.
Anyone else with a different answer? Okay, awesome. So answer is C. Question 6, Grace.
You are in the process of planning a project and found that stakeholders often have varying objectives and requirements. This makes it hard to come up with a plan with which all objectives will be met. What is probably most helpful to ensure common understanding?
So four options. Yeah.
Let me check. It's to ask the project stakeholders to build focus groups in order to discuss and remedy conflicting interests. That's my answer.
That's your answer. What about others? Anyone with a different answer? For all of you, it's answer 1. Okay.
I got confused on this one, to be honest, between that 1, 1 and 4.
Okay, use your authorization as a project manager to clearly prioritize the different objectives. So this is the use of a coercive power. Normally, it's not the case, and you don't use coercive power to prioritize different objectives, not at all. So prioritization normally comes from other stakeholders, and you manage the project, but requirements and project objectives come from different type of stakeholders. So yeah, answer 1 is correct. Myra.
Projects frequently do not meet customer expectations for which of the following reasons? This is actually the one question that I'm unsure of.
Yeah,
but I will choose option 4.
Option 4, unclear scope definition by the customer for whom the project is performed. Okay, anyone else with a different answer?
Three,
the technical inability and poor risk management by the contractor.
Number 7, yes, that's my answer.
Yeah, Grace. Okay, answer 3. Anyone else with answer different than answer 3 or 4? What's your answer, Tanya?
4.
4, unclear scope definition by the customer for whom the project is performed. Okay, anyone else? Pedro?
Actually, my answer is also 4, unclear scope definition.
Okay, and so, Eman, what's your answer?
For me, number 3.
Number 3. Okay. Yeah. So if you read the question, projects frequently don't meet customer expectation for which of the following reasons? Unclear scope definition by the customer for whom the project is performed. basically, it is not the reason, because like when we say customer expectations, it's not because of unclear scope definition, because if you remember at the time of contract, we choose the contract based on uh, if you know your scope, you know your statement of work or not. If customer doesn't know, he might go for a different type of contract, but again, he understand he doesn't know his scope. Okay, he should not be dissatisfied. And the major reason of dissatisfaction for customer expectation is technical inability and poor risk management by the contractor. Always coming with the issues, is not able to do the work and just making issues for the customer. So answer 3 is the correct answer. Next, Tanya.
What is typical for critical path project management?
Mm-hmm.
I answered forward and backward path analysis.
Okay, so that is forward and backward pass analysis, and we talked about it. Level of effort activities, management of security, management of resource over allocation, no. So forward and backward pass is normally run so that critical path could be determined. Next question 9 and Eamon.
You are project manager for the development of a new type of power plant.
Mm-hmm.
Your project is making fast progress, and it is getting near to the day of product acceptance. Which technician, which sorry,
So yeah, which technique
which
will be
technique
most
will be
important?
important for product acceptance?
Mm-hmm.
Because of like technical acceptance, inspection is gonna be the answer.
The first one.
Yeah, the first one.
Anyone else with a different answer? Okay,
I
so
have quality audit.
yeah, quality audit is normally done throughout.
During, yeah.
Throughout the work, but not near to the date of acceptance. At that time,
That's
you
right.
normally go for inspection.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, question 10 and Grace, can you please read for me?
What are the cost types in modern quality management?
Mm-hmm.
Cost of good quality, costs of bad quality,
Mm-hmm.
planning costs, assurance costs, control costs. I think that's my answer there too. 13.
Mm-hmm. So your answer?
But I'm not sure. Number 2.
Okay. So cost of quality. Anyone else with a different answer?
I chose 4.
4.
I chose 4.
So answer is 4. 3 type of costs: prevention, appraisals, and failure costs. And then there comes a long question. I think instead of going through the statement, maybe Tanya, just share the answer.
Oh yeah, I went for number 1. Accompanying the team members along a sequence of maturity levels.
Yeah.
But I was not quite clear on it.
Mm-hmm. Accompany your team members along a sequence of maturity levels from dependence through independence to interdependence. So you can think of like that thing, directing and then supporting, and then from there, what was the delegating? Okay, so I think that's the way to go. Anyone with a different answer? So answer 1 is correct. 12. Pedro. Pedro, are you around? Myra.
For a project, the following earned value data have been assessed.
Yes.
AC is 4 million, cost variance is negative 500,000, SPI is 1.12, PAC 9650. What is the earned value of the project? My answer is option 2, 3,500,000.
Anyone with a different answer?
Yeah, the same answer.
Okay. So let's move further. Question 13. Grace, can you please help me to read?
Sure. During execution in a project to build a major road bridge, your team found a major flaw in the technical drawings. On an ad hoc base, they had to find and implement a workaround to avoid delays and mitigate technical problems. What should you do next? And that is 1, meticulously document the problem and the workaround to create requested change to the project management plan, which will then be passed to the body responsible for the change control decision.
So anyone with something else? Okay, so 13 answer 1 is correct. 14, Sukanya.
You recently took over the assignment for the project. The project charter has been developed. What is the appropriate next step for you? I'm going for get approval for the project management plan.
Anyone else whose answer is not for?
Develop management plans.
Develop
Yeah,
management.
for me, develop management plans.
Yeah, same 3.
Yeah.
Same 3.
Yeah, same Tanya?
Yeah, 3.
Okay, yeah. So start developing your management plan. Also, this answer 2 is develop the project milestone schedule. You know what? Maybe it's better to show you something. Normally, once the product vision is created, that is normally project. In waterfall, we call them project charter. In Agile, you can call it product vision or elevator statement or a lightweight project charter. Another step that we can do after developing the project charter is develop a roadmap. Okay. What is a roadmap for a project? That basically gives you key milestones. Okay. On the way. Based on these milestones, you develop you do the planning. Okay, so in that case, I would say that developing this roadmap, and in this case, they said that schedule of milestones. It could help you to do a better planning. Though both answers are very near, but you may also consider this a right option. But for the sake of paper marking, I would say develop management plan is the correct answer. But that's my feeling. I will go back and check it and will come back to you that what is the first step, developing product roadmap or milestones is before developing project management plan, or project management plan is first, then setting the milestones. At the moment, consider your answer 3 as the correct answer. Okay, so let's go to question 15. It's a long question, so I would say, Myra, just share your answer.
Number 15, I answered option 4.
Option
It
4.
is probably a good idea to reschedule the meeting to a day when all team members can attend.
Yeah. Anyone else with a different answer? No one. Tanya, what do you think?
I really, yeah, I was tossing up between 2 and 4. But I ended up with 4 because I think the impact in getting everyone on the same page, we need to make sure everyone is there. And I wasn't really sure whether at that point in the project, you could throw your weight around and get everyone, insist that everyone was there. That's my reason. 2 and 4, yeah.
So everybody is agreed with answer 4?
I think option 3 may also be an option, correct? Yeah, I'm torn between 3 and 4 actually.
I'm torn between 2 and 4 too. I mean, just with a presented scenario, most of the time you would want, and well, I don't quite like the word insist there, but you would want the team members to be present in the appointed date, for the meeting. But it looks like in the scenario, it's really close to the date already when they've cancelled the event. So it almost seems like you have got no choice or window to encourage them to join the meeting. So best answer probably is the 4th one, to reschedule.
2 or 4. So it looks like, am I agreed? 2 or 4 are the 2 options where there is 50-50 chance of the answer. But as Grace, you just mentioned that if you go through the scenario, what it says, you schedule a kickoff meeting in order to announce the start of your project, present the plan and develop the consensus on it. Very important meeting. Another topic will be the explanation of the team roles. Roles and responsibilities are normally handed over in the kickoff meetings. In addition, you planned some time for the discussion. You published the agenda of the kickoff meeting some weeks ago to all invited attendees. It was well planned, well advanced. Now, short term before the event, you received various cancellations. It was not just a single cancellation. You have got various cancellation, maybe just a day before, who say that they cannot join the meeting, but they will be with you when the project work starts. I would say that this scenario says that meeting is important, well planned, well scheduled, and the response from the stakeholders or the team members is not appropriate there. And it is not just an emergency case, various cancellation. In that case, I would highly recommend that you should insist on the presence of team members to be appointed date. Maybe there could be an emergency, but it could be 1 or 2, but it cannot be for many. So answer 2 is the correct answer. 16. Pedro.
During a meeting, a discussion came up. To which degree does your project have to compliant to the process enumerated in the PM book guide? What should be the guiding principle to answer this question? My answer is actually I was torn between 2 answers, but my answer is D. The project team must select appropriate processes required to meet the project requirements.
Anyone with a different answer? So answer is D. Question 17. Myra.
Product acceptance criteria should be laid down in which document? My answer is 4, project scope management plan.
So your answer is 4.
Yes.
Anyone with a different answer?
Project scope statement for me.
Okay, that is 1. What about others?
I went for 4.
4. Scope management plan.
Yeah, scope management plan.
Hmm.
The
Yeah.
project scope is inside the project scope management plan.
No, scope statement is not part of scope management plan. It is part of scope baseline.
Yeah, which is normally stated in the contract or statement of works as well. So yeah, there would have been the correct answer there would have been the 1. My answer is 4 though.
Yeah,
So
so
I
it's
got it
very
wrong.
yeah, it's very important to understand when we say management plan, scope management, or any other type of plan, it is your thought process. It is you talk about how you are going to collect the requirements, setting the scope, setting the acceptance criteria, decomposing the project scope into work packages, so on and so forth. But you don't do it, you think about how to do it. Okay, so scope statement is the statement that is a formal document, a formal scope document that is approved by the senior management, and it contains not only the scope itself, out of scope components, both related to project and product, list of deliverables, and the acceptance criteria for the overall project and for each individual deliverable. So answer is 1. That is project scope statement. And Eman.
The cost baseline is developed during which process? When we determine the budget. The cost
Okay.
baseline developed when we determine the budget.
So yeah, it's a correct answer. 18. And then 19, Tanya.
You are in the process of contacting sellers to obtain bids and proposals. Which technique may help you save time? And I went for a bit of conferences.
Yeah, so it was, which one? Sorry?
I went for a bit of conferences.
Yeah, bidder conferences. Tanya used the right technique. Sometimes if question statement is too long, you really don't need to go through the whole question in first go. Read the last line, okay? And then see, yeah, which could be the option. Straight away, you can say 4 eyes meeting is a made up term, just leave it. Qualified seller list, it is not the best technique to save time. Advertising, really mean it's just a standard technique, but bidder conference is the point where you call all the different interested parties or sellers and they come at one place and talk about the project. If you still confused, you can read the whole statement.
Guys, what's 4 eyes meeting?
Sorry? Oh, nothing. Made up term. It's just a made up term. So, in the start, we were talking about once we will go through the whole PMP content. If there is any made up term that is just here, you will understand it straight away that this is a made up term. It's not a right answer.
Yeah, that's quite tricky. I had a thought about that. Like, this is probably just to annoy from the selection. But at the same token, I was also thinking, does this mean like, a personal meeting?
Yeah, yeah, I can understand.
Which could also be an option.
Yeah, just like an interview, face-to-face meeting.
Yeah, face-to-face.
Yeah, but it is just a made up term here. Okay, so last question, 20, Sukanya.
As a project manager, what should you especially consider cultural differences?
When?
When you assign human resources to do work in a scheduled activity,
Mhm. Anyone else with a different answer?
That's my answer, but I
Yeah.
was also thinking about the fourth one. That is actually quite tricky, this question.
My answer is 4.
Yes, Pedro, Tanya, what do you think?
My answer is 2, when you assign human resources to do the work in scheduled activity.
Yeah. Can you give me the example?
Probably some culture has a different rest day, so we
Mhm.
have to consider that.
Consider it too. Okay, so that could be considered, but out of these 4 options, you have to choose the best one. As you just said, probably, but on the other side, if you think about recognitions and awards, this is something where you must consider the cultural differences. I mean, few people are like not good with the alcohol, other are not good with the meat, other are not good with one particular product or in the another product, so on and so forth. Mostly it's at the time of recognition and awards. Uh, when you think about them, you think about the cultural differences. Uh, Answer 4 is the correct answer. Here, no doubt, I am agreed that you may also think when you are doing, when you are scheduling the activities, but you have to choose the one best answer. Okay, so guys, did you score yourself?
Let's
Yes,
say
wrong answer.
So how much score you got, Pedro, out of 20?
I got 6 mistakes, so that probably I got 14 out of 20.
Yeah, Grace?
mm, I got only 13.
Mm-hmm. That's all right. I would say it's not a bad performance at all. Sukanya,
Only 11, sir.
okay, and Myra,
I got 15.
that's good. And Tanya,
Yeah, 15.
15?
Yeah.
Cool. And Eamon,
14 for me.
cool. That's awesome. Now